All right, what is going on, guys? It's Drew coming to you with another comic book review, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started on this. This week, a brand new comic came out this week, and I got a hold of it finally, and I read it. This is a book that is coming from the past of the '80s cartoon, the animation series. As you can see, the symbol in my background is a Thundercats symbol. So they have came out with Dynamite issue 1. Thundercats just came out with another book. It says volume 3, so I've never read any other comic books of Thundercats. But in the 80s, I used to watch the animated series, and in the 90s until it was no longer broadcasting. All right, so I'm going to jump straight into this book. Thundercats. I think it's a fairly decent book. I was slightly entertained because I was more interested in what was going on, because even though I watched this as a kid, I don't know their origin story. I didn't know they came from another planet, but I do have some questions about that since they came from another planet and they land on the third Earth, not even the first Earth, third Earth. So, yeah, so there's some questions about that. So it gets into the story of there was a dialogue in the background where Lila was telling the story about leaving their planet was being destroyed, and they finally got on the final vessel and they managed to make it out. Something went wrong on this ship because Lilo was supposed to be a cub, and something went wrong on his pod, I guess, and he woke up, he was a full grown man. So that gave him the authorization or rights, or maybe the team or somebody decided, hey, you're going to lead us to the promised land. You're going to be our leader. You're Lilo. With that being said, but Panthro was one of the older ones, and Tigra and some of them were older. They're really older than Lilo, even though Lilo is the leader. He just happened to age throughout the pod. Panthro doesn't think Lilo's ready to lead. He's trying to put him through a training section. Lilo doesn't want no part of it. He wants to hold the sword and prove that he is tough enough and he is strong enough to lead the Thundercats. There's a whole group of Thundercats. Panthro, Tigra, Chitara. Then you got the Cubs. They call the twins. Willie Cat and Willie Kit, which is one's a male, one's a female. I believe they're twins, right? So they're Cubs. But I think Lilo was with them as one of the Cubs, but he just happened to grow older. So Panthro, I think, is the oldest, and then Tigra, and then Chitara. But Panthro is the one that is probably a general. I think he's a general. Although I used to watch this film, there was a lot I didn't know about the Thundercats. I just knew their names. I just knew what they do. There's also this little cat. I think his name was like Snork or something, or Snorker. I would have to get a recap in my head. And Mumra was the main villain. We haven't seen him yet. I know that Lilo called one of the guys that he ended up getting into a battle with the ogre. So I can't tell you. But anyways, he's out there trying to prove himself, but he ended up getting ambushed. So the rest of the Thundercats was aware of it, and they came to help in this battle that they were in. But what this is basically just giving you a recap of why they're here and what they're doing here on Earth. But my thing is this: how did the Thundercats even have cats? If they came from another planet, how are they cats? How are they cats before they get to Earth? And then they're talking about they're studying the animals on Earth, trying to learn them and trying to catch them. But your cats come from another planet, humanoid cats, or you just happen to look like that. What a coincidence! And Chitara's fast and all this stuff. Like, even though I watched it, I never questioned as a kid, but now as an adult, I need some more information. Transformers, they learned Earth and they saw like vehicles and they wanted to transform into the vehicle. They weren't just coming down as a truck. They weren't coming down as a big old ape. They didn't come down as a jet. They immolated the jet. They immolated it. So they were not a jet before they came to Earth. No matter what planet they went to, they would have turned to whatever is there. So, but obviously this is not that. But yeah, other than that, it's fairly decent. I will continue to read it because I am interested in learning more about the characters these days, because it's been so long and I don't know. I don't really have the strongest back history on the Thundercats, so that's why I decided to jump on this. And then I found out it has a semi-origin story to it, so that just made it much better instead of just jumping into the middle of a story. So now I get to start from the bottom, work my way up, and get to relearn about the Thundercats again. And yeah, Dynamite, written by Declan Shalvey, Declan Shalvey, the art by Drew Moss. Thundercats, issue 1, Dynamite.